You can fight with yourself, but for your family, it's not possible.
It's one of my favorite sayings. We are who we think we are.
Right now, what happened? That everyone is making a reel, right? Suppose if someone is making a reel on the relationship, like now the man is already suffering. Someone making a reel of that woman is suffering, the relationship suffering, right? So the publics are directly relate to them, and immediately they are transferring or the forwarded to the respective people, either the husband or the family. They are directly. So I think the Instagram or the any other thing, any other social media are the most culprit to spreading the hate. What is every morning we wake up with the stress, self doubt, and a mind full of noise that drowns out our own potential. But what if I told you that the power to change that lies in something as simple as your daily decision you make? Well, my guest today is the master of making that happen. She is known as your ray of sunshine, and for a good reason. Deborah Mallow has built a powerful movement around helping the people cancel toxic noise, break free from the self sabotage, and start making the daily decisions that lead to happier and healthier life. She is the author of 6 Steps to Fewer Days That Sucks. Yes, you heard that right. And she is here to show us that life doesn't have to feel like a constant struggle. Deborah has cracked the code on transforming negativity into the empowerment. And today, she is bringing her wisdom, her energy, and her passion straight to you. So if you are ready to shift your mindset, take control of your happiness, and finally start living with a purpose. So buckle up, because this conversation is about to get real. So please watch this video till end, and if you find any value from this conversation, please like, share, and subscribe. Your thought on that? So, hi Deborah, welcome to the Samir Show. How are you today?
Oh, Samir, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
I'm really
I,
excited. For the
I,
last month, I was waiting for you actually.
know, I know we sort of had this on the back burner, and today was the day, and I was ready, you're ready, and we're going to have so much fun to inspire your listeners. And everybody give themselves a big hug, because this
Yes, definitely.
some a lot of fun, a lot of conversation, and hopefully a lot of tips for everybody to just feel good and honor themselves, honor their dignity, respect themselves, be personally considerate, and not be so hard on themselves. Give
So
yourself
somehow
permission.
I manifest for this particular recording that I could record with you, and today I got the chance.
Oh, thank you, Samir. It's a pleasure. We should do this again. I would love
Oh
to
yeah,
do it.
definitely.
Absolutely. I'm always up for Samir is for everybody listening, you know Samir. He is just such a kind heart, such a nice person, and so diligent and respectful. It's just I just think he's
Thank you
amazing.
so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's the truth though. I don't say anything unless I really believe it. I
Yeah, thank you so
believe
much.
it.
It's really pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Samir.
Yeah, so Deborah, that the mostly that today I'm gonna ask you the questions that are mostly the people around us and around the world. The mostly they are facing the challenges nowadays, as you know that how the life is going, right?
Yeah.
Every person believe that all the responsibilities are there on their shoulders, right? They are like having a trap. So, how would you suggest someone to take that first step? Because taking the first step is the very challenging. How you can give the suggestion to break that cycle?
The cycle of just being overwhelmed. Is that the
Yes,
cycle we're talking about?
yes.
Overwhelmed. Yeah. Honestly, the truth of the matter is everything is short, simple steps. The whole point is we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, whether it's through our job and expectations or expectations that we have in our head of parenting, being a good friend, being a good partner, spouse. We put so much pressure on ourselves. And is it easy to stop doing that? No. But is it necessary to be more content, to have more inner peace? Yes. Can we do it? Absolutely. But we'll never do it unless we make the decision to do it, to stop the negative thoughts, to stop the worry. I read a study, Samir, that 91% of the things we worry about never, ever happen. That means 9% of what we worry about happens, but we're still worrying. We're overwhelming ourselves with things that we shouldn't, because I think the first thing I like to do is I say this to myself. And I also had a transformation because I was overwhelmed and anxious and trying to be the best, best, best. And I came to terms with the fact that I need to be kind, to be personally considerate to myself and not put so much pressure on myself. Take a step back before reacting and really think about what matters. Because honestly, in life, what really matters? Our family, our health, being a good human, being nice to other people. I mean, those are the things, even if people are rude to us, I think it's so important to just maintain your composure. And is
Hmm.
it easy? No, especially after we've allowed ourselves to go off the rails so many times. We have to flip the script, change the cycle, and actually stop ourselves from going down the rabbit hole. Just reflecting first, taking a breath. And it's not easy, no, but once you do it, our brains seek patterns. And once we make these positive patterns, that's what that's what we get used to. And then we feel better. So we do better. We're able to be more present in our lives. We're not worrying or in our heads. We're actually in the moment. And that's when we can really enjoy the people around us. So it just takes making the commitment, making the decision to do it. And nothing is easy, especially after we've done the same routine, the same patterns year after year after year. But ask yourself, do you feel good? And the truth is, no, you're feeling so stressed. And it just is overwhelming, all of that. So you need to find ways to give
But
yourself permission to step back
I
and find
agree.
a way to enjoy.
I agree, Deborah. But do you know that sometimes that people having like they are not having the selection by the choice. They
Right.
don't have the choice, but forcefully like to feed the people, the feed the house, the feed the whole house. That they have to get into that trap by forcefully.
Well,
How can
that,
that person get come out from that? That is the most important thing for them.
and I understand that people have challenges. There will always be challenges in life, whether you're rich, whether you're not rich. But it's how you react. And I know saying this sounds so trite and not possible, but
Right.
I did it. Because you have to train your mind
Hmm.
to be able to look on the bright side, on the positive side, because if everything is negative, that's what's going to actually happen in your life.
Hmm.
If you make it more positive, you find solutions because you're more able to relax. We put so much pressure on ourselves and so much negativity. Actually, negativity is a very, it's not good.
Yeah.
Negative emotions, especially excessive negative emotions, can make us sick. It's actually related to different diseases like cardiovascular disease, gastrointestinal disease, degenerative brain disease,
Hmm.
even a shorter lifespan. So just think about, we can be positive, we can be negative. Each is a choice to spread. It's up to us to do it. And yes, in the moment when life, you feel like it's crushing you, I
Right.
understand. But when you flip your mindset, somehow things tend to fall in place. It's what we attract, that growth mindset, the abundance mindset, or the scarcity mindset.
But when we say that negative words or the negative thoughts are the more louder than the positive thoughts, right? They are amplifying your whole body.
It's
So
the
how that good
negativity
person,
bias.
yeah. So how can that person come out from that? See,
Again,
sometimes the people are around with the negative environment. Let me tell you the example.
yes, please.
I had one of my friend in India, and she was very frustrated. She is not happy with her family, and she's constantly negative. She wanted to do some corrections, constantly do corrections with that family relationship and everything, but somehow that no one wants to listen her, as she spoke continuous one statement again and again and again. So everyone got frustrated that whenever she's trying to talk to her family, everyone felt that she's gonna start talk the same thing again and again. So we don't want to listen her anymore. So everyone's tried to ignore her. Even that today, that she's constantly that bearing that pain about that negative thoughts, about her negative about her families. She is living alone. She don't have any person for support. What are the suggestion, or what are the thoughts if your family is not supporting, how that people can survive in this world? You can fight with yourself, but for your family it's not possible.
And I understand. And you know what? It's building confidence and trust in yourself. We can't, as I said, you can't control anybody else. We can't go through our lives having to please everybody. But it's like the song goes, you have to please yourself.
Hmm.
And I understand that she feels trapped. But if she wants to live a happier, and I don't say happy every day, a happier life, she has to please herself, because she's never going to be able to convince others to come if they don't want to
Exactly.
in what she believes in. But if she believes in what she believes in, she has to build confidence in herself and the resilience to be able to bounce back from the negative words of others and stop the reaction, because it's our reaction that makes the day better or worse. Think about it. Anything we do, our reaction really reflects how the day is going to go. If we want to react positively towards something and not let that negative talk track or somebody else's negative words affect us, our day is going to be much better. And honestly, is it easy? No, but it's doable, because building confidence in ourselves, believing in ourselves, and I keep coming back to being personally considerate, because it's really important not to be rude to yourself. And so many people beat themselves up excessively, to ad nauseum, to the point where there's no way to be happy. And my question is, it's your choice. You can make it better or make it worse. You can go negative or you can go positive. I would rather be happier. I've been through the turmoil. It doesn't help. And maybe once she flips the script and she comes to terms with the fact that she believes in herself and has the confidence, and you don't believe me? Okay, I want to have a relationship with you. You don't want to have a relationship with me. Maybe at that point, when she's not so negative, maybe everybody will embrace her more, because who wants to be around constant negativity? Think about that too, because we have a choice. We can choose to be around positive, supportive people, or we can be around negative people who drag us down. Those people will affect us. It's the old story. You are the sum of the people that you surround yourself with. And if that's your life. So wouldn't you rather surround yourself with somebody positive? I feel for her, but I think that she has to just believe that she's a gift, that she has a wonderful life, because it's one of my favorite sayings. We are who we think we are.
Right.
That we're wonderful and we have a lot to give the world, and we want to be positive, have curiosity, not be jealous of other people, but just embrace our life and find ways to enjoy. That's what we're going to do. If we want to go down rabbit holes, that's what we're going to do.
Right.
So it's her choice. It's all a choice. Everything is a choice. We complicate it. Our brains,
Yeah,
ourselves.
sometimes the people are being so complicated. They make their own life making so much complicated. There is a one experiment, actually. I can say the experiment that happened. The one of the scientists has made. So
Uh,
he kept the two ball of water. Okay, so they in a one bowl of water, he constantly using the abusing word for that particular water. Okay,
oh,
and the another bowl of water, he constantly like praise that water, love them, nurture them, right? So after a month, what happened that the abusive ball, that ball of water, is full of bugs. And
interesting.
another ball of water that is having the that happens like a small snow, the shape of a snow, that is happening into that one. So that says the words are the most powerful things to heal your body, to heal your relationship. Now,
Absolutely. How we
exactly.
talk to ourselves, right,
Yeah,
Samir?
that's definitely. Sometimes that we ourselves talk negative about selves, right? Ourselves.
Yes.
Do you believe that right now the social media is also the one of the responsible who like spread the hate, I can say? For example, right now what happened that everyone is making a reel, right? Suppose if someone is making a reel on the relationship, like now the man is already suffering, someone making a reel of that woman is suffering, the relationship suffering, right? So the publics are directly relate to them, and immediately they are transferring or the forward it to the respective people, either the husband or the family, they are directly. So I think the Instagram or any other thing, any other social media are the most culprit to spreading the hate. What is your thought on that?
Well, you know what? In my group
Hmm.
on Instagram,
Hmm.
because I choose who I let in. That's
Correct.
another thing. You
Hmm.
choose who you let in. So the people who I follow, they follow me. It's only positive. Anything negative, I will not allow in. So I think a lot of it is a choice.
Hmm.
I really do, because I think there's good and bad in everything. I don't think we can say myself a blanket statement that this is all bad or this is all good, because there's good in everything. There's a lot of positive things that happen on social media too, and people also can make money from it, which is a positive thing, and they can share their feelings, and sometimes other people then can learn from it, as
Hmm.
long as it's not done maliciously, as long as it's done tastefully and with kindness. And I find a lot of the kindness there, even with the young children that parents have say these cute little words and everything. It brightens your day. So I don't think I honestly think that there's good and bad in everything, and you have to be able to recognize that, be self-aware, and not let yourself get trapped, especially taking care of young children. You want to make sure that it doesn't affect their self esteem. As adults like us, we're able to filter through, we're
Right.
able to have more self worth and understand that some adults maybe not, but hopefully they will over time build that trust in themselves and that self esteem. But honestly, it's our choice which way we want to lean. So I actually think there's good in social media. I think there's good and bad in everything. I think the bad side of it is, or I mean, devastating. I mean,
Yeah,
we all hear
exactly. Yeah.
stories. We're not going to get political today, but we all know the stories that you can hear on social media. But if you look for good in life, you'll find good in life. If you're going to look for the
Right.
bad in life, that's what you're going to find in anything we do. It's our perspective. I really believe that.
Yeah. So as you talk about the children, that in the today's world, that everyone, the peoples are being judged. Even your own children is also being judged by the parents many times. So sometimes the children's having the difficulty to build the confidence and the self-esteem. How can you help, or how can the parents help their children to build a confidence and the self-esteem?
Well, first, it comes from the parents having the confidence and the self esteem. Children model
Hmm.
what they see. If there's fighting in the household, That's what they grow up with. Because the thing is, they don't have life perspective.
Right.
They don't know that that isn't a normal way that everybody is living. So
Mm.
they just believe that that's how life is. So it's very important to choose our words, to actually be careful what we say around our children,
Mhm.
and to give them confidence. I don't like praise when it's not due,
Mm.
because that is a that's just continuing. It's not authentic. And you want your children to have a true value of themselves for what they're good at and what they're not. We're all not great at everything,
Mm.
but we all have our strengths, our gifts, and actually helping children find that so they have less frustration,
Mm.
to have them do things that will build their confidence, to be able to give them a round of applause,
Yeah, I
like I
agree.
said, not
Yeah.
falsely, but to build them up, to talk to them like adults and talk to them about their feelings,
Mm.
to not judge them, and to be able to let them be their own person,
Mm.
because we're all different. And when we do that, it helps them build confidence. And then knowing that they're going to fall down sometimes, and they're not going to be able to do certain things,
Mm.
but being able to pick themselves up and move forward and find things that they are good at and that they love to do, that's what builds resilience. So when they become adults, they have coping skills. It's really important to have coping skills and to
Right.
be able to deal with all the things, the negativity and the all the things that we as adults deal with, and helping your children by being authentic and helping them find what they're good at and find their confidence and find that resilience, and that they can move forward. And even if today isn't wonderful, there's always tomorrow. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, if we believe that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. And
Right.
sometimes it takes a while to find that light, but giving them that positive message, helping them through it,
Mm.
so that because resilience is one of the best things to build, because we learn, as I said, we need to learn how to cope.
Yeah, exactly. The small appraisal to the children can make the big difference. That I believe.
Yeah. And there's one thing, Samir, because I don't like the word failure.
Yeah.
I have as you know, you read my book. I renamed failure education and growth, because what if your mistakes were wonderful things in disguise? What if your mistakes lead you to finding what you really are good at, what you really want to do, to find that purpose and passion that makes you get up in the morning and enjoy your life?
Right.
So, just knowing, and that's also about building resilience. We can't do everything fantastically on the first try. Maybe rarely the first try you do something and just it works, but it takes years to master. It takes, Malcolm Gladwell says, 10,000 hours. Whatever the number is,
Mm.
it takes time to master something, to be able to become good at something, to be able to find our path. So failure is how you see it. And like I said, if you think of it as education, if you think that it's going to be, you learn through the bumps in the road, and those bumps in the road lead you to where you should be. And
Right.
it's just to trust. And again, I know people listening, they're in a funk. And I didn't say a bad word. F-U-N-K. You're just
Yeah.
feeling down, and you just can't seem to get yourself out of that F-U-N-K funk. I want to make sure I say it right in case there's children in the background. Um, Anyhow, even if you feel that way or you're a little down, it's figure out what you can do. I like to distract. I like to find ways. Think about this: smiling. Just smile.
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody feel better when you smile? Well, that smiling is proven by science. It gets the endorphins, the dopamine and the serotonin moving. It actually makes us feel better when we smile. Find someone to laugh with.
Hmm.
Surround yourself by happier people. It will affect your mood and it will affect your life. When you're
Agree.
with positive people, you're going to feel better. It's a choice. Everything is a choice. Everything we do is a choice. Which fork in the road to take? It's
Yeah. So how to find the purpose of the life? As you are in the good sales, you are the best sellers in the Johnson and Johnson, right? What are the things or what are the thoughts that you have in the mind that you want to choose that career and you change your purpose of your life? What are the thoughts at that time came into your mind?
well, I made my, this is why I do this now. This is why I coach. This is why I wrote the book, because I was down the rabbit hole. I was there fighting myself to do the best because I wasn't competing with anyone else. If I was number one, I was competing with my record, my score, that
Yeah.
that way. And I made myself crazy. I would not crazy, but I was exhausted. I was burnt out.
Hmm.
When you're exhausted and burnt out, you go negative. Sleep, eating right,
Hmm.
exercising, all of that helps us feel better.
Hmm.
Why? Because it's affecting, you lessen the cortisol, the stress hormone, and you welcome in the dopamine, the serotonin, those neurotransmitters that make us feel good. It's very important to think about what you're doing every day. Maybe you have a job that isn't satisfying. Many people have jobs that are not satisfying, but the choice is, are you going to let that job get to you?
Hmm.
Or are you going to do things for yourself to make yourself feel better? Exercise, take a walk, even a walk. Walking actually boosts the
Yeah.
serotonin,
Yeah.
lessens the cortisol, and its research shows that it helps us reduce the sensitivity to pain and stress.
Right.
So it's like we have choices in our life. So when we're feeling
Hmm.
vulnerable, that we're going to go down a rabbit hole, that we're going to be angry, frustrated, find something that's going to lift you up.
Hmm.
Even foods. I read certain foods, all the junk food we eat, the McDonald's and everything. And I'm not judging what anybody
Yeah.
does. Everybody does a little bit. A little bit, moderation is fine.
Yeah.
But as a healthy diet, that too is affecting your mood. All the sugar, all the oil, the fat. I mean, there's a balance to that. There's everything's a balance. But when we eat salmon, and if you're vegetarian, leafy greens, nuts, seeds, yogurt,
Right.
in turkey, even dark chocolate, certain foods have a way to boost your mood. And when your mood is boosted, because they say it boosts self-esteem too. Well, when
Right.
you feel better, your self-esteem is better. Everything is affected. So it's a matter of finding a way to put yourself on a better path. The negative thoughts, but also our lifestyle, an intentional lifestyle to move towards success. And I'm not talking about success monetarily. I'm talking about a success personally, to be able to feel inside that we feel good. I think personal fulfillment, finding our inner peace and our well-being, to
Mhm.
me, that's the best success in the world. Everybody needs money to live, I understand, but so many people strive for that money, but they're not happier.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
then what's the point? It's like it, it's it's transitory. That happiness, you buy something, and then if you can't afford it, then you have to deal with the bills. There's something to be said about finding joy in the simple things and treating yourself as personally considerate, as I keep saying, because it's important to honor your value and defend your dignity and to honor yourself. And then to sleep well,
Mhm.
to eat well, to exercise, to take care of your body and mind, because we're our own best resource. But when we don't treat ourselves well, we tend to go negative. It's so simple. But as we said, we talked earlier, we complicate it so much and we cause our own problems so many times.
Yeah.
Think about it. Just think about
So
it.
what about the people that who's constantly worrying? Like worry is also like a unwanted guest for in each and every person. Like it's always lingering and always loud.
That's right, because we can allow it, but we said
Exactly.
91% of the things we worry about.
Yeah, so when
Study
worry
shows
becomes your background noise, what's the
because
effective way to quiet those worry into our mind?
the first thing is to be self aware, to know what you're doing and to recognize what you're doing, because that's the only way you're going to flip the script.
Hmm.
Because when the worry begins, we need to distract, we need to switch our attention and do something else. Because this is what happens: we worry about things excessively, and then maybe something happens. Somebody was rude to us, somebody just called us out for something.
Hmm.
So in the moment, it overwhelms us and it makes us feel bad. It triggers all those negative feelings. But then think about it. 3 days later, you don't feel it at all.
Hmm.
So the trick is to stop it in the moment
Hmm.
and to talk to yourself kindly, because it's all how we talk to ourselves, right? We can call ourselves bad names and self-bully, because
Hmm.
self-bullying is real.
Right.
You That criticism, that circular thinking. Or we could choose to say nice things to ourselves, and once we start the pattern of saying nice things to ourselves, of flipping that script, and I know I've said this before, but repetition of words and repetition of the things that are good is helpful to change the habit. And once we do that, and that's what I did in my life, I would not let the negative noise in. I don't worry anymore, because you know what? If
Hmm.
it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and then I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Then I will deal with it. But if it's not going to happen, why am I wasting my time? There's too many other precious things to do. Being present in the moment for your family, being present in the moment for you so that you can enjoy more, because life is short. You get
Right.
to the end, people at the end on their deathbed, what do they say? Why did I make my life so difficult? So rather than do that now, change, reframe your thoughts,
But what
change that
about the
perspective.
person who's constantly that having in the pain, and many people are hiding that pain or pain? They are afraid of burdening the others and being judged. So can you just guide them? How can they understand yourself and what they need to do, not to judge themselves and not to have guilt about that one?
And it's true. People are, and I was guilty of this, people pleasers, right? We want other people to accept us.
Hmm.
Thing is, that's never going to happen. Some people, yes, they think you're wonderful, but everybody think you're wonderful? No. Will people find ways to criticize you? A lot of times when people say nasty things to you, it's because they have an inferiority complex.
Hmm.
They feel less than. So in order to bully other people, to say nasty things about other people, it gives them a little bit of a confidence boost.
Hmm.
Their lives, which they feel doesn't feel so good, well, for that second they get that adrenaline rush. They feel a little better by putting someone else down. Well, the thing is, got to cut it off at the pass. Cannot take the words of people that are always finding a way to put other people down. We have to build self-worth.
Mhm.
We have to value ourselves. We have to be kind to ourselves. That's what I call self-care. I think self-care is more building your confidence, building your resilience, building that love for yourself. And I'm not talking about being vain, not
Hmm.
at all. But until we love ourselves, it's very hard to love other people, because everything will bring us down, because we'll always find ways to be negative, to put ourselves down, to bully ourselves, bully. And it's not easy, but it's definitely doable to just give yourself a hug every day when you get up in the morning. Say
Hmm.
to any mantra you want to say, any affirmation you want to say, but you need to act on those words. It's not just giving lip service to the words. I mean, I say today is going to be a good day and I'll bring the positive energy.
Right.
It's just, again, it's how we talk to ourselves, how we flip the negative into a positive. And once you start practicing
Hmm.
taking the negative and you flip it around to something positive, just like I said, I suck. I why did I not do well? Why blah, blah. I love learning something new. Find a way to reframe the negative into a positive. You really can. If you want to, you
Mhm.
can. And then look, in a couple of weeks after doing that, you start to feel better. It's not like it takes a lot of time, but we have to be able to consistently do it to change our patterns and to be more positive, because you're only doing this for yourself. It's not like you're doing this for a million people. You're
Right.
doing this for yourself. And when you remember that you need to hug yourself, that you need to love yourself, you need to be personally considerate, and you constantly remind yourself of this when a negative something happens or somebody criticizes you or you criticize yourself, it's stop it. You don't have to buy into it. It's really a choice.
So, do you also believe that the people or the person who smile a lot, actually they're hiding their pain?
Maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, it's hard to generalize what. Yes, there are people who put on a good face, and then unfortunately,
Yeah.
people commit suicide, and everything happens. And it's very sad to think that somebody is suffering so much. And that's why I do what I do, because a lot of times the people that I coach, it's all about having an accountability partner, about surrounding yourself with positive people and having somebody be able to see for what it really is and to help you through it. A lot of people can't afford a coach like myself, but people can have friends that are supportive. Choose people in your circle to hang out with that support you and you support them. So it's a supportive atmosphere. We cannot keep surrounding ourselves with people who are going to bring us down, or that's what our life's going to be.
Hmm.
And that is very sad because we have so much to offer the world. We just have to believe that we do and go after it and find the happiness, the joy. It's not about forcing positivity what I do. It's just approaching life differently, approaching your thoughts differently. I don't want to give false sense of hope. I don't want to say, it's a magic bullet. But if you do the work, if you love yourself enough to do the work, you will change, but you have to want.
But the many peoples have, so I would say that what would you say the peoples who are stop believing in their dreams and they are face too many failures to setback. So what would you say to them?
Well, I want to know how many failures and what is a failure, because again, as I said, we learn from the things, we have mistakes. And also, we have to align ourselves with our strengths, the things that come more naturally to us, the things that we enjoy. Because why do we keep doing things that we don't enjoy? Find that path. I understand we have to work for a living sometimes. Not everybody, most people have to work for a
Right.
living, but it's again a choice how you're going to face it, how you're going to find balance, how you're going to find things that you surround yourself with that will bring in the joy
Hmm.
and not put so much credence into all the negative. It's I keep saying this, it's all about reframing our thoughts. Whether you want to think simple, think the glass is half full, think the glass is half empty. And it's so all these things are very trite and you hear it over and over, but it's really true. You want to it's Norman Vincent Peale, back in the day, The Power of Positive Thinking. It's really so helpful to reframe your thoughts and find the positive in things, the glass half full rather than half empty. And nobody can do it for you.
Hmm.
It's something that we need to do for ourselves, but knowing that our brains love patterns, knowing that we can overcome the negativity bias and we can reframe our thoughts and our perspective is comforting to know that we can do this if we so choose to do it. Again, it's a choice. And I know that this is maybe not helping some people, but I really caution, just try it.
Right.
Just try it for yourself. Try to get rid of all the toxic noise. Don't self bully. Be kind to yourself. When a negative thought happens, just switch it up by saying something positive and give yourself a hug and smile and find people that surround you to help you do that, because good friends, good people in your life
Right.
will do that for you because they're doing that for themselves.
Right. So that's my next question is about the trust, about the relationship, about your friends, about your parents, or anyone. So once this trust is broken, your life, sometimes you feel that life is shattered, right? So what are the suggestions you can give them to build the relation or to restore the trust in the relationship?
You know, there's so many extenuating circumstances in something like that.
Right.
Some things can never be repaired.
Hmm.
And sometimes, if people are so toxic, why do you want to repair it?
Hmm.
Because some people have certain addictions, sex addictions, drug addictions, and just like Matthew Perry, it was never going to get better, which is such a shame. He
Right.
went, he had money, he had fame, he had everything you think that you want. Well, it's very telling. And I say this, anything in excess isn't going to make things better. More money isn't going to make you happier.
Right.
Being able to have a bigger house isn't going to make you happier unless you choose inside to feel good about yourself. We have to feel good, and we have to find a way to reframe. And I keep coming back to it because it's our thoughts and our patterns that either make the day better or they're going to make it worse. And we see the outcome of these things. And the sad thing is, young people committing suicide, and even older people. It's just very sad for me to see, because I know, just like I changed myself, we can all do it if we choose to do it. And I don't sit here saying one thing and then going back and yelling and screaming and being, and finding all the faults in things and being negative. I won't do that to myself anymore. I respect myself too much. I want to live and enjoy my life too much that I will not allow the negative in. I won't allow people to take that, to rob that from me. And it's it's all a choice. And I know if you're sitting in a negative situation now, you say, easy for you to say. You're in a good place. But
Right.
I wasn't. If you saw me the day I was at a New York City subway platform and I had a meltdown
Hmm.
because I was exhausted and I wasn't eating right, and I was getting up at 3 in the morning and going to sleep for a couple of hours and getting up and doing it all again. I would get home at 10 o'clock at night from doing a sales call. I'd start at 6 in the morning. I'd be up at 3. I slept 2 hours. I ate junk food like Diet Coke.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't drink soda anymore. No, 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 no. And I would get a bag of chips. All of that stuff contributes to how we feel. So I sit here telling you, you can change if you want to change. And why wouldn't you honor yourself? Why wouldn't you give yourself some love and respect yourself? Because you can't depend on other people to validate you. We have to validate ourselves. It
Correct.
really is true, because self-belief and confidence come from within us. And it's so simple. It's easy for me to say now, but honestly, I did the work. And I never, ever want to go back. So I will not allow myself to do it. And once you change and you flip that script, it becomes part of your everyday life.
Yeah.
Finding the positive in things, looking for negative. honestly.
So why it's important to celebrate the progress rather than the perfection? So in your whole journey, that do you believe that you celebrate your journey, or the ultimately that you celebrate your end result?
I celebrate things along the way, the accomplishments along the way. I
Okay.
actually post things on my fridge.
Hmm.
I give myself gold stars. I say, I try not to procrastinate. I try to get things done. I try not to overcommit. So you know, Samir, I said I can't do it
Right.
in February. I just
Hmm.
know myself. We need to give ourselves permission to honor ourselves and be able to set boundaries, not to be negative, never be nasty to someone else, even if they're trying your patience. Take a pause and just give the kindness. Even if you don't get it back, at least inside, you feel better about yourself. You're not going to get to the point of no return where you're so angry. You start that chain reaction and then you're just down a rabbit hole. So, honestly, we have to be able to take care of ourselves and make our day the best it can be. Yes, things will happen. Yes,
Hmm.
people will die. Yes, accidents happen. It's like Bethany Hamilton, who the shark bit off her left arm. But then think about it. She was back on at 13, that happened. On 15, well, a month later, she was back on her surfboard. And then think about people who do this. And 2 years later, she won a champion. She was in a championship, a
Yeah.
big one. The thing is, it's all in our attitude, it's all in our outlook, it's how we want to, glass half full or glass half empty. If we're going to let the bad things drag us down,
Hmm.
that's what our life is going to be. If we'll find ways to find the good even in the bad things that happen to us. Look, she followed her passion rather than getting stuck in, woe me, why did this happen? You have to find the things that you're passionate about, the things that can lift you up. We all have to do that. I have many, as you know, you saw my book, I have many stories like that. Because on a double page, it's all double pages, but I give it 3 lines,
Right.
4 lines of people, of stories that relate to whatever. No more excuses, or don't give in to intimidation. I talk about Ben Silberman, the co-founder of Pinterest.
Hmm.
People were very skeptic. They were they didn't believe that maybe this was something new at the time, and he didn't allow the skepticism to deter him. Instead, he quit a job that was, I'm sure, paying well. It was for a big
Yeah.
company,
Yeah.
tech company,
Yeah.
and he followed his heart. And I don't say everything works out. I don't want to give people false hope ever. But if you believe in something, the only way you're going to do it, the only way you're going to find that accomplishment, which lifts us up, is to do it and to praise yourself along the way. Whether you make a chart and post it on the fridge, today I did,
Hmm.
and check, and not to overwhelm yourself with trying to do everything all at once. Break it up so it's manageable. Break it up so that you can find the joy in doing it, so you can enjoy the day more than just forcing yourself to get through something that is just not going to make you happy. Find ways to make it fun and reward achievements, something that you want for yourself. I even say, make a party just for you, bake a cake for yourself, feel special, feel good. We are who we think we are.
So
So,
that's the next question for me. That how important how important about the self talk.
yeah.
Most probably in the daily routine, are you talking about yourself? And if yes, then what are you talk about?
Well, I don't do the circular thinking anymore. I don't self bully myself. I don't go there. I don't worry anymore. I really don't do it,
Hmm.
because all it's doing is making me feel yucky. And I don't want to feel yucky. I want to
mm,
feel good about myself. Every day isn't perfect. Every day won't be perfect, but I have many, many, many more good days than I have bad days. And I don't want to get to the end of my life and feel I squandered it, squandered opportunities, squandered a chance to meet you
mm.
and talk to you, a joyous, kind, wonderful person. But when you're caught up in a plague of pessimism and you're succumbing to that, you're not able to be present in the moment and enjoying that moment with people that can lift you up, that can offer that sense of joy, bring that into your world. Why wouldn't you do that? I say to people that I coach, that I talk to, that I'm their accountability partner, because I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist or a
Mm.
psychologist or a mental health professional. No, but I went through the school of hard knocks, and I know that we can reframe our thoughts and change our perspective and make our lives better. And I really ground myself in reality to not set myself up and say, well, every day is going to be perfect. Well, no, it will not be, but it's all again how we react to it. Reaction is such an important part about how we're going to make our day better or worse.
So have you tried the mirror talk, that when you try to talk yourself and you stand in the front of the mirror and talk about yourself? Suppose if you your whole day spent, then after that you are talking into your mirror that what was the good about today and what was the bad about today, kind of things. Have you
I
tried it?
actually just try to find the good. What I used to do
Mm-hmm.
is I would, when you're number one in your sale in your franchise, or I had many when I was in my design phase of my life. I had many, many very successful patterns,
Mm.
but I would see the few things that I didn't do, not wrong, but up to my expectations, or I find something could have been better. We need to look at the good, not look at the negative. Can we improve things? Like I said, I'm grounded in reality.
Mm.
Yes, we can, but we have to stop putting ourselves down and self-bullying for things that maybe didn't measure up to our standards, or something that somebody else said to us that made us feel less than. We
Right.
cannot let that enter our minds, and we have to be able to find a way to turn it positive, to see the good. That's why I say it's very important to celebrate
Mm.
the good things that we do and to take note of it, to write it down, even to post it in places, to say positive words to ourselves. It's very, very important. And I use the mirror thing to, it's just, for me, it's sort of a metaphor to be able to actually understand what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
and to be truthful within yourself.
Mm.
Because, like, what we put out comes back to us. When we put out positive vibes, it usually comes back to us. When we put out negative vibes, that's what we're going to feel. That's going to come back to us. And that's the same with a mirror. The mirror for me is the truth, your truth in yourself, and we need to start being truthful with ourselves. If somebody says something negative about us, I find it very helpful to say, well, are they right about that? If it's something that I can improve upon, well, that's a good thing, because maybe I didn't see that. But if they're doing it because they're trying to make themselves feel better and they don't even believe it, we have to believe in ourselves enough. And that's where the confidence comes in, to know that we did whatever we did to the best of our expectations. I mean, the best of our abilities, excuse me, not
Exactly, but that is only happening when the person is loving themselves. The people, many times our people are getting bored. Suppose if you are alone at your home, you are not talking to yourself, you are not doing any activity, so sometimes you are getting bored and you are finding the people to talk, right? You are not enjoying your own own company. Many people doesn't like own company, right? They are trying to find out the people to talk or watch on the mobile or watching the TV the whole day. That's the thing, that why the people are not enjoying their own company. Many times they are, that is the main cause, that people are getting the frustrated. They are not self-believing because they are not loving themselves. That is, I believe.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. It just goes back to, it's again, it's a choice.
Yeah,
And if you if you want to hate yourself, that's what you're going to do.
yeah,
Want to love yourself, that's what you're going to do. I hug myself. I really do every morning, during the day, in the evening. I smile, I center, and I really try to take a moment and see the good in my life. And believe me, I am not a rich person. Everything isn't perfect in my life, but I am content within myself. And why? Because I don't want to go back to the person that I was. And I feel
yeah,
so much better being this person that believes in herself, has a good, positive outlook on life. When things go wrong, I pause before reacting. I try to think slowly of how to correct things or make it be less of a burden to myself or people around me, because we have to make decisions. But when you calmly do something, rather than do it with frustration, anger, and stress and nerves,
mm,
when you calmly do it, take care of it, it usually gets settled. Things tend to work out. Okay, people, when they die, they don't come back. But in general, just like the worrying, the 91% of the time it doesn't happen what we worry
yeah,
about. The same thing about in our lives. If we want to see the good things and believe in that, it's so many stories of people in their lives who found the positive,
right.
even when they were dead broke. They found the positive, and you flip around your life,
Helen Keller.
and there you go.
Yeah,
There's so many people like that, right?
right.
She she's a perfect example
Yeah,
of somebody who had limit her eyes, she couldn't see, couldn't hear, all those things, but she found. And at the beginning, she would act out. It was the person she surrounded herself with, right? Annie Sullivan,
exactly.
who helped her. And that's why I say we all need our accountability partners, our support systems,
Yeah,
positive people in our lives. And once you start surrounding yourself with more of the positive, you tend to lean more positive. So think about that
yeah,
when you're spring cleaning and you're inviting people into your life that really it's not it's not serving you. It's being a disservice. We should not do that to ourselves.
yeah.
Shouldn't. And again, I know you say it's easy for me to say, but I did the work and I know it's possible. I know everybody can if they want to. I know we all have different challenges.
Exactly.
I understand that. And I
Yeah.
don't want to say a blanket statement that, okay, everything will be perfect. It won't be, but we can make our
No,
lives
the
better.
efforts that the people has to do, that efforts has to give. So last question of my podcast, that so nowadays that children are become too sensitive. Do you believe that parents has to teach their children to having a thick skin?
Well, we go back to what we talked about resilience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Building confidence in yourself. And yes, I mean, thick skin, meaning that the when people throw things, negative things our way, that
Mm.
we believe in ourselves enough, have the confidence in ourselves enough that we don't have to buy in and believe what they're saying. And having an honest perspective and having and valuing yourself is very helpful for that. So, for our children, modeling
Mm.
this, being respectful of one another in the house, being respectful of the children, showing them how to act so that they can value themselves. Because when there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of anger and fighting and everything, kids tend to take it on like it's their fault or this is their norm because they don't know anything different. They don't have life perspective like we do as adults.
Right.
So it's I do agree. It's important to be able to have your children believe in themselves enough that they can discern whether what somebody's saying to them is truthful or if it's not truthful, and to be able to take the criticism, because criticism doesn't have to be, or critique, it doesn't have to be negative. It can actually help you become better at something, but it has to be done in a respectful way,
Right.
not to hurt someone, but to help them with kindness, not with hatred.
Right. So welcome to your favorite and my favorite, the rapid fire round.
Rapid fire!
Yeah.
Woohoo! Let's go! One word.
Self-talk or journaling?
Wait, say it again. I'm sorry, what?
Self-talk or journaling?
Journaling.
Positive or resilience?
Both.
Both. Inner peace or external validation?
Oh, inner peace.
Thick skin or open heart?
Both.
Trust or forgiveness?
Both.
Manifestation or action?
Both.
Confidence or
Good.
comfort?
I'm sorry, say that again. What?
Confidence or comfort?
I think with confidence, we gain comfort.
Yes.
So both.
Purpose or passion?
Again, they all work. You're giving me words that actually work hand in hand.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love them.
Let
They're
go.
my words. No.
Let
Okay,
go
your
or
word.
hold on?
Say that again.
Let go or hold on?
Oh, let go. Let go now. Let go. 2 words.
Progress or perfection?
Progress.
That's it.
Thank you, Samir.
Thank you so much, Deborah.
I hope that everybody listening
Yeah.
I'm not judging anybody. I understand the struggles.
Right.
I just want people to get unstuck. That is my reason for doing this. I'm not doing this to be rich. I'm not. I'm doing this because I have so much empathy and I understand the struggles that people go through every day. And I know that we can all help ourselves to just enjoy a little bit more. And that's all I wanted to share with, and why I wanted to be on your podcast and talk about this, because I want people to just, again, hug themselves and find the good in themselves. Stop finding the negative.
Yeah. So that definitely that today that I will found 2 kind of people: the person who start actioning on that, and another person believe that okay, it's okay to give the advice, it's easy to give the advice, and that we are the person who knows better our life, right? There's a second kind of person that who can believe in that one. So we can relay the decision on them, and whatever the thing that I hope they can having the best results from this podcast, and they start getting actioning on them. And definitely, as you say, that giving the best hug after listening to this podcast.
I hope so. And smile and find the good. Just embrace an abundance mindset rather than a scarcity mindset. There's plenty of opportunities out there, but we also, they say you make your own luck. Okay, sometimes things just happen, it's fortuitous, but by working towards things, by believing in ourselves, and then by actually accomplishing it, that's when we feel so good. We know that we actually did it, and we all can. We all have our strengths, that we can do hard work.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
we can value ourselves. But I don't want to go on and on. I know. But I just feel for people. I know it's tough. I know the struggles. And I just want to hug you all and just say, you can do it. I believe in you. Samir believes in you. You can do it.
Yeah,
Find an
definitely.
accountability partner that loves you, that wants to help you and support you and be your cheerleader.
Yes. That's why I want to spread the knowledge, the good life, and definitely the smile to my people.
Thank you, Samir. You're the best host. I always enjoy talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and really enjoyed the conversation with you.
Thank you, Samir. You're the best host.
Thank you.